Have you ever wondered what's really hiding inside your freezer? For most seniors, frozen foods seem harmless, even convenient. You think of them as quick, easy, and safe. Just heat them up in a few minutes, and dinner is served. But here's the shocking truth. Some of the most common frozen foods can quietly accelerate aging, raise your blood pressure, inflame your joints, damage your memory, even increase your risk of stroke by 36% once you're over 60. That sounds frightening, doesn't it? But the good news is, not all frozen foods are bad. In fact, when chosen wisely, some frozen foods lock in more nutrition than so-called fresh produce that sits on trucks and store shelves for days. The right frozen foods can become powerful allies to protect your heart, brain, muscles, and joints. That's why today, I'm going to reveal the 4 frozen foods seniors should never touch and the 4 frozen superfoods you must keep in your freezer if you want to stay strong, sharp, and independent. And stay with me until the very end, because frozen food number 1 on the best list could literally transform your sleep and joint health in just a few weeks. But first, let me ask you 2 quick questions. What's the frozen food you eat most often? And have you ever felt bloated, foggy, or unusually stiff after eating something straight from your freezer? Share your answers in the comments below. I read and reply to every single one. All right, let's begin with the danger list. Picture this. It's late in the evening, you're tired, you don't feel like cooking. Don't feel like cooking, grab a pizza, pop it into the oven, and dinner is done. Convenient, right? But here's the dark side. Every slice of frozen pizza contains between 700 and 1,200 milligrams of sodium. And let's be honest, who stops at just 1 slice? Most of us eat at least half the pizza, which means you could be swallowing more salt in one sitting than your kidneys can handle in an entire day. After 60, your kidneys naturally work less efficiently. Excess sodium builds up, raising your blood pressure, swelling your ankles, and straining your heart. And that's just the salt. Crust is made from refined white flour, which spikes your blood sugar almost instantly. Seniors are more vulnerable because insulin sensitivity declines with age. The result? Afternoon crashes, brain fog, and silent damage to blood vessels. And don't forget the toppings. Pepperoni, sausage, ham most are loaded with nitrates and nitrites. Inside your body, these turn into nitrosamines, chemicals linked to cancer and heart disease. And here's the kicker. A slice can pack more than 400 calories, but less than 10 grams of protein. Empty calories that feed fat, not muscle. Linda, 72, from Ohio, used to eat frozen pizza 2 or 3 times a week. Over time, her ankles swelled, her blood pressure crept higher, her energy tanked. But when she replaced pizza with frozen salmon and vegetables, her blood pressure dropped by 20 points in just 8 weeks, and the swelling disappeared. The lesson? Frozen pizza may look like comfort, but for seniors, it's a metabolic time bomb. The second danger is frozen breakfast pastries, Pop-Tarts, toaster strudels, frozen waffles drowning in syrup. 1 serving contains 15 to 25 grams of sugar, but most people eat 2. That means you're starting your morning with nearly your entire daily sugar limit before lunch. And after 60, your pancreas can't keep up. Insulin lingers longer in the bloodstream, leaving you fatigued and foggy, and paving the way for insulin resistance. A 2020 study found that seniors who started their day with sugary, refined breakfasts had 47% higher markers of inflammation for the next 6 hours. Imagine waking up and immediately setting your body on fire. On top of that, these products are loaded with cheap fat palm oil, hydrogenated oils that stiffen arteries, worsen arthritis, and raise cholesterol. George, 68, from Michigan, relied on toaster pastries every morning. He couldn't understand why his arthritis kept flaring, his blood sugar climbed, and he never felt full. But when he swapped them for frozen steel-cut oats and berries, everything changed. Within 2 months, his stiffness improved, his A1C dropped, and he finally had steady energy through lunch. The third danger, hiding in freezers everywhere. Frozen fried foods, chicken nuggets, fish sticks, onion rings, mozzarella sticks, French fries. They're crispy, tasty, comforting. But for seniors, they're nothing less than inflammation bombs. When food is fried, frozen, and reheated, it creates compounds called ages-advanced glycation end products. And these literally accelerate aging. They stiffen arteries, damage collagen in your skin, and weaken your joints. A 2021 study found that seniors who ate fried foods twice per week had a 36% higher risk of vascular stiffness and a 28% higher risk of memory decline. And don't forget the sodium. A small serving of chicken nuggets can contain over 1,200 milligrams of salt that raises blood pressure, causes swelling in ankles and hands, and silently pushes you toward stroke and heart failure. Linda, again from Ohio, loved fish sticks. They were cheap, quick, and easy. But she couldn't figure out why her ankles swelled and she woke up groggy every morning. Her labs told the story: sky-high inflammation, borderline blood pressure. Once she swapped fish sticks for baked salmon fillets, her swelling went down, her energy came back, and she finally felt in control again. And now, it's the #1 frozen danger frozen desserts and ice cream. For many seniors, it's not just dessert, it's comfort. But a single serving of premium ice cream can contain 20 to 30 grams of sugar, and no one eats just one serving. For seniors, this much sugar triggers massive blood sugar spikes, insulin resistance, systemic inflammation, the very processes that drive joint pain, fatigue, and cognitive decline. A 2022 study found that adults over 60 who consumed sugary desserts at least 3 times per week had a 41% higher risk of dementia, and the damage isn't only from sugar. Many frozen desserts contain palm oil, hydrogenated oils, stabilizers, artificial dyes, and flavorings. When you're younger, the body can detoxify these chemicals faster. But after 60, your liver and kidneys work more slowly. The toxins stay in your system longer, causing more harm. George, 75, from Florida, had ice cream every night. But over time, he noticed his memory slipping, his energy fading, and his doctor warned him about prediabetes. When he cut out ice cream and switched to frozen blueberries with Greek yogurt, he lost 12 pounds and said, "I feel like the fog is lifted from my brain." So, there you have it, for frozen foods to avoid at all costs: pizza, breakfast pastries, fried foods, and desserts. But don't worry, the freezer doesn't have to be your enemy. It can become your greatest ally if you stock it wisely. Let's flip the script and reveal the 4 frozen superfoods seniors should eat every single week. The first superfood is wild-caught fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, or cod. These aren't just protein, they're anti-aging medicine, like fresh fish that may have sat for days on ice. Wild-caught fish is often flash frozen within hours, locking in omega-3 south, vitamin D, and antioxidants like astaxanthin. Omega-3 south are pure gold for seniors. They reduce inflammation, protect the brain from memory decline, and support heart health. Seniors who ate fatty fish twice per week had a 30% slower rate of cognitive decline, according to a major study. Elaine, 72, from Oregon, rarely ate fish because she thought it was too expensive and inconvenient. But when she started keeping frozen salmon fillets in her freezer and ate them twice a week, the change was remarkable. Within 10 weeks, her energy improved, her joint pain eased, and her triglycerides dropped by 25%. The second superfood is frozen berries, blueberries. Strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, tiny, colorful, and packed with antioxidants. Freezing preserves nearly all of their nutrients. Anthocyanins in berries can cross the blood-brain barrier and protect neurons from damage. Research from Harvard found that women over 70 who ate 2 servings of blueberries or strawberries weekly had slower cognitive decline, equivalent to being 2.5 years younger in brain age. George, 74, felt his memory was slipping. He began adding a cup of frozen blueberries to his breakfast every day. After 3 months, he reported sharper recall, more afternoon energy. And even his doctor noticed better blood sugar control. The third frozen powerhouse is vegetables. Many people believe frozen vegetables are second best, but in reality, they're often more nutritious. That's because they're flash frozen within hours of harvest, locking in vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and antioxidants. Meanwhile, fresh vegetables lose nutrients every day they sit in storage. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts fight inflammation and protect brain cells. Leafy greens like spinach and kale supply folate for memory and DNA repair. Carrots and mixed veggies provide beta-carotene for vision and immunity. Preparation is simple: steam lightly, roast with garlic and olive oil, add 2 soups or stews, or blend into smoothies. Convenient, delicious, and nutrient-dense. And now, the #1 frozen superfood for seniors, bone broth. You might think of it as just soup stock, but bone broth is a therapeutic food rich in collagen, gelatin, and amino acids. After 60, your collagen levels drop dramatically. That's why joints ache, skin loses elasticity, and recovery takes longer. Bone broth replenishes collagen, helping to rebuild joints, smooth skin, support muscles. It also contains glycine, which calms the nervous system and improves sleep. For seniors struggling with insomnia, bone broth at night has been called nature's sleeping pill. It heals the gut lining, boosts nutrient absorption, and strengthens immunity. George, 72, a veteran from Ohio, suffered years of knee pain and relied on a cane. He was preparing for knee replacement surgery. But when he started drinking 1 cup of frozen bone broth every night, something amazing happened. Within 10 weeks, his knee pain decreased by 60%, his mobility improved, and he was sleeping soundly for the first time in years. The surgeon even postponed the surgery, saying, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." So here's the bottom line. Your freezer can either be your silent enemy or your greatest ally after 60. The wrong frozen foods, pizza, pastries, fried nuggets, and ice cream accelerate aging, stiffen arteries, inflame joints, and drain your independence. But the right frozen foods, wild fish, berries, vegetables, and bone broth can protect your body, sharpen your mind, and add healthy years to your life. Now, the choice is yours. Will you let convenience quietly steal your health? Or will you take control and turn your freezer into a personal pharmacy for longevity? Do one thing today. Open your freezer, take out 1 harmful food, and replace it with 1 healing food. Small steps create massive change when repeated consistently. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Which frozen food surprised you the most today? Share your answer in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to make a life-saving change. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button so more seniors can discover these health-saving swaps. And don't forget to subscribe to It's Better Health, your trusted source for science-backed tips that help you live stronger, longer. Remember, aging well isn't about luck, it's about choices. And every smart choice you make today is a gift to the healthier, more vibrant you of tomorrow.